Steve, I love your vibe, man. I hope that you and your wife are doing well, and I hope that things are looking up. Actually, with you, they're always looking up. But I'm happy to see that hockey has gone that way. The only downside to hockey for me is that the equipment is so bloody expensive for many people that want to get into it. Sometimes it's almost impossible. But this isn't about this response. It's actually just me telling you that I'm happy to see that it's there. And it's amazing when you look back in time, because my father, who tried to teach me how to skate, did his best, but unfortunately I'm skate deprived. I know how to skate, I just don't know how to stop. And unfortunately I have to rely on the boards or the snowbanks, all depending on what's available. But I remember when I was growing up, pond hockey was a big thing, and it still is in many parts of the country, especially in the coldest areas of the Maritimes or in Canada. And it's as simple as taking out water when it's not too cold, and actually spraying it down so you can actually make a nice pond surface. It requires due diligence to actually be able to do it in your backyard, but a lot of people do it. It's a cheaper way of doing it. It's a safer way, especially for some of those enthusiasts that actually build their own nets around the actual play area high enough so that any pucks being slap shot aren't being propulsed out of the backyard into somebody's window or upside somebody's head. The funny thing is that when I look back at my father's old pictures and what he's told me about it, he's only in his mid-60s, he's not 70 yet, but he's getting up there. He, when he was a kid at about 10, between 10 and 13, actually 13, he went to seminary to either become a priest or a teacher. He graduated at 18. It would have to be between the age of 13 and 8, 9. When he was playing hockey, they didn't have the money to buy a lot of the equipment. Hockey sticks weren't a big deal. You could easily get cheap ones, and you could easily try to make one. But goalie equipment, which my dad was a goalie when he was playing in the Old Timers League, and he stopped just recently because he's retired and he doesn't feel the need to do so again. He would, when he was young, he used to use old phone books and tape them around his legs to actually provide him the protection against the pucks. Don't ask me what he used for his face, because I think he probably had a goalie mask, but one of the El Cheapo versions, either that or none whatsoever, because they only started using goalie masks somewhere in the 60s or late 50s, late 60s, to actually, after a famous goalie in the Canadian Hockey League actually took a decision to wear it, and he was almost chastised by his employer over doing it because it would reduce his visibility. But getting a puck on the face hurts like hell, and it can damage and break bones, because the shots coming at one's face are not simple shots. We're not talking about a softball to the face or a tennis ball to the face. We're talking about a hard plastic object that's already sub-zero temperature because of the ice temperature, which would be probably around 0 or 1, -1 or 1, all depending on the heat of the ice. And it's coming at you. Ow. But it's funny for me to actually compare his old hockey equipment, his goalie equipment that he was actually using before he upgraded to the newest technology in the last 15-20 years, because his hockey pads, his goalie pads, were stiff, very thickly and very well sewn leather pads that would be very stiff and difficult to move with. You'd have to be very flexible and very strong, because each pad weighed upwards to anywhere between 15 to 30 pounds, depending on what material was being used. So trust me, you got used to your skates, you got used to your equipment, and you did it fast, because as a goalie, you do need to stop pucks. But that's how it is. Anyways, it's fun to see that being done in your neck of the woods. I just wanted to share ours. Have a nice one.